The scream cut through the parking garage like a knife. Sarah pressed herself against the concrete pillar, heart pounding, as three men circled the young woman near the stairwell. "Please, someone help me," the woman begged. Sarah fumbled for her phone, her hands shaking. But before she could dial, a figure emerged from the shadows. He moved like water, silent and fluid. What happened in the next 30 seconds would change Sarah's understanding of courage forever. Let me take you back 6 hours. Sarah. John had just finished another grueling 12-hour shift at Seattle General Hospital. Her scrubs were stained with coffee and exhaustion, her mind foggy from back-to-back surgeries. All she wanted was to get to her car, drive home, and collapse into bed. Hospital parking garage was nearly empty. At 2 a.m., her footsteps echoed off the concrete walls as she walked toward her Honda Civic on level 3. That's when she heard laughter, the kind that makes your skin crawl. She rounded the corner and froze. 3 men, probably in their late 20s, had cornered a young woman against a sedan. The woman, maybe 22 or 23, clutched her purse like a lifeline. Her mascara ran in black streaks down her face. "Come on, beautiful. We just want to talk," one of them said, his voice dripping with menace. He was the tallest, wearing a leather jacket and reeking of alcohol even from 15 feet away. "I said leave me alone," the woman's voice cracked. She tried to move past him, but the second man, stocky with a shaved head, blocked her path. "Where are you going?" "Party's just getting started," the third one sneered, reaching for her arm. Sarah's medical training kicked in. Assess the situation. Call for help. Don't engage. Her fingers found her phone, but her hands were shaking so badly she nearly dropped it. That's when she saw him. He appeared so quietly that Sarah actually jumped. One moment the corridor was empty behind the 3 men. The next, he was there. Mid-30s, average height, wearing jeans and a plain gray hoodie. Nothing about him screamed hero. He looked like he could be someone's accountant or high school teacher, but his eyes. Even in the dim fluorescent light, Sarah could see them, calm, calculating, completely unafraid. "Gentlemen," he said softly, "walk away." The 3 men spun around. The tall one in the leather jacket laughed. "Oh, look, we got ourselves a white knight. Mind your business, old man. I'm making it my business. Walk away. Now." The stocky one cracked his knuckles. "You got a death wish or something." What happened next happened so fast that Sarah almost couldn't process it. The third man lunged first, throwing a wild haymaker. The stranger in the hoodie simply wasn't there anymore. He'd moved maybe 6 inches, just enough for the fist to sail past his face. Then, with movement so precise it looked choreographed, he struck. Palm to the solar plexus. The attacker crumpled, gasping for air. The stocky one came next, arms outstretched to tackle. The stranger pivoted, used the man's momentum against him, and sent him face first into the concrete pillar. The sound was sickening. He slid down, unconscious. The tall one in the leather jacket pulled a knife. "Bad choice," the stranger said, still eerily calm. The knife slashed toward his throat. The stranger caught the wrist, twisted, and Sarah heard a distinct crack. The knife clattered to the ground. One final strike to the side of the neck, and the tall man collapsed like a puppet with cut strings. 30 seconds. Maybe less, the stranger turned to the young woman, who had sunk to the ground sobbing. He kept his distance, hands visible, non-threatening. "You're safe now." "Are you hurt?" She shook her head, unable to speak. He pulled out his phone, dialed 3 numbers. "Yes, I need police and an ambulance at Seattle General Parking Garage, level 3. 3 men attacked a woman. They're restrained." "No, I'm staying until you arrive." Sarah finally found her voice. "How did you do that?" He glanced at her, and for the first time, she saw the weariness in his eyes. "Training." "A lot of training? Military?" "Navy, a long time ago." He didn't elaborate. The police arrived within minutes. Statements were taken. Security footage reviewed. The young woman, whose name was Emily, was checked for injuries. The three attackers were arrested and charged before the stranger could disappear into the night as quietly as he'd arrived. Sarah stopped him. "Wait, I need to know. Why didn't you just walk past? Call the police and keep walking like most people would?" He was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of hard-won wisdom. "I spent 20 years in the SEALs. Saw combat in places most people can't pronounce. I was trained to eliminate threats, to be the weapon. When I got out, I was angry, lost. I thought my purpose was gone." He looked at Emily, who was wrapped in a blanket, talking to paramedics. "Then I realized something. The skills, the training, they weren't just for war. They were for this. For standing between people who can't protect themselves and people who would hurt them. Not because I have to. Because I can." Sarah felt tears prick her eyes. "Most people wouldn't get involved. I know. But I'm not most people. And honestly," he met her gaze, "neither are you. You stayed. You were ready to help, even though you were terrified. That's courage, too." Sarah drove home that night thinking about his words. In the days that followed, she couldn't stop thinking about them. She'd spent years in medicine, saving lives in sterile operating rooms. Noble work, yes. But she'd become disconnected, going through the motions. That night in the parking garage reminded her why she became a doctor in the first place. To help people. To stand between suffering and relief. She started volunteering at a free clinic in underserved neighborhoods. She began teaching self-defense classes for hospital staff. Small things, but things that mattered. She never saw the stranger again. But Emily stayed in touch. She went back to school, became an advocate for assault survivors, turned her trauma into purpose. Here's what I learned from Sarah's story, and what I want you to take away today. Courage isn't about being unafraid. It's about acting despite fear. It's about using whatever skills, resources, or position you have to make someone's darkness a little lighter. You might not be a Navy SEAL. You might not know martial arts. But you have something to offer. A listening ear. A helping hand. The courage to speak up when others stay silent. The world needs more people willing to step out of the shadows and say, "Not on my watch." What about you? Have you ever witnessed courage in an unexpected moment? Have you been that person who stepped up when it mattered? Share your story in the comments below. And if this story touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more true tales that remind us of the good still left in this world. Until next time, take care of each other.